deep in the furnace of a dying star. Eons of fusion have created iron, and as the nuclear furnace is cooled, a sudden and violent explosion spread the iron across the cosmos. Over the next few billion years, these heavier elements accreted into this place that we call the Earth. Time passes, and humans discover this iron deep in the Earth and discover its mystical properties. They discover ways of forging this iron and create one of mankind's greatest inventions, the truck stop knife. This is where the story of iron ends, and my story begins. This is J.J. Jinx Truck Stop Knives! J.J. Jinx Truck Stop Knives! So, I just got back from a road trip, which I will be making a video about. I just have to piece all the snippets together and stuff. There were lots of truck stops and lots of knives and lots of fun. Then I got back and I realized, oh my god, I have like no room for this shit. I own a lot more stuff than I used to, so I decided I'm going to expand my knife storage capacity. And I've got literally just like a pile of knives in my closet, just sitting there, because they're big and I got no other place to put them. So I got one of these under the bed rolly cart things, Sterilite containers, and I'm going to put all the big stuff in there. And I figured while I do that, why not show them to you? Some of them you've seen before, some of them you haven't. So this is a giant Bowie looking knife. Look how big this thing is. It was, I think my brother had it, and oh my goodness, this thing is a beast. It is actually branded on the hilt Bud K, so it's just a Bud K knife. It's like a 1/4 inch of steel right there almost, or maybe 3/8. I don't know. I usually use the metric system. It's about 4 to 5 millimeters, and it's very, very bad quality. You can tell the way they cut the swedge right here. It's very asymmetric. Well, that's pretty much it. It's got kind of a reddish colored handle. I think it's actually a full tang blade, which, you know, doesn't mean anything when the whole thing is Bud K branded, but the nylon sheath is actually not too terrible. It's minimalistic and it does what you need, so put that one away. Here's one that I have had for a number of years. I got it back before, basically when I would open mystery knife boxes just kind of on my own before I filmed any of it, and it is like a Rambo knife. The hilt has holes in it, so I guess you could, like, I don't know, bayonet mount it or something. It's made by Tomahawk. I don't know if that's the brand, or I can't remember, but it's stainless steel, handcrafted in the People's Republic of China. Now, on the spine of it, there's these really sharp spikes. I don't think you could use it as a saw because these spikes will just deform, but they are pointy to the point where, like, I don't know. I mean, this knife isn't made for practical uses. It's a freaking Rambo knife. And yes, you can unscrew the bottom, and this is why I kept it. I actually, when I moved, I threw away a bunch of stuff. But I wanted to keep this one because it's got the little capsule in the handle with like a couple matchsticks and fishing string and a fishing hook. Interesting thing I noticed was that the inside of the knife is circular, but the little pod thing is like rounded on two ends. It looks like this was made possibly for some other knife, and they're like, it fits, and it like goes way down in there. So it's like there's room for more, and it's got the compass, and no, it doesn't work very well. I tested it. These tiny little compasses just never seem to work right, I've noticed. I don't know. Not that I own that many of them. And then the sheath, which is hard plastic on the inside, shrouded by nylon, so it rattles, which is what you really want when you're hiding from the Viet Cong. But it also includes this little teeny tiny stone, whetstone for sharpening, I guess. And its own little plastic coffin thing. So, there's that knife. Here's one that I also got a long time ago, years ago. It's a throwing axe with a leather sheath. And it's made by, I guess, a designer named Kit Ray. He was sort of a designer that Bud K promoted a lot, I guess, and it's got a little loop for your belt. And when you take this thing out, if I can do it without taking my arm off, it's just kind of a gothic design with a really pointy back end. And the handle's kind of interesting. It looks like there's this textured surface that's banded in leather, and that might actually be real leather for a change. And it's made in People's Republic of China. So there's that. I'm going through these, just spending 1 or 2 minutes, just basically just showing them to you, because I don't want the video to be too long, and there's not really worth saying too much about most of these. This one you've seen before in another video. This is my sword and throwing knife set that they called a steampunk sword, but there's really nothing on it that's steampunk. There's just like fancy patterns and stuff, but they call it a steampunk sword. So isn't that enough? Oh, and look what just happened when I put it back in its sheath. Little surprise blade shoots out the top because there's no rivets up here. I guess it just kind of ripped right through the sewing. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye on that if I ever have to bust this out. And impale yourself on it. And it fits. I think that's the biggest one I got. It fits. I'm happy. This one I've also shown before. It's the, I think it was called the Abaddon sickle. I bought it on sale. I literally just was like, hey, that looks pretty kind of gothy and evil looking. It'd be kind of cool on the wall for Halloween. Or I could say it's a Spider-Man sickle. I don't know. It's garbage, really. It doesn't really have an edge at all. The point is just a dull nub. But I paid $14 for it, I think. So I got everything that I wanted. And then some. And it's got a leather, kind of looks like a horn. Can drink some meat out of that. Oh gosh, that snap is tight. Alright. This one. I dug this out. I've been wanting to show it off actually because I kind of mention it once in a while. This is a giant timber rattler. Timber rattler? Yeah, timber rattler. The sheath is garbage. It's I don't know. If you ever handled really bad, it's just bad leather. And I've actually gotten multiple giant timber rattler knives. I threw all of but this one away. Because this one is my Christmas knife, my Christmas Bowie knife. But they have just kind of the same generic giant sheath for most of their really bad stuff. So I saved this Merry Christmas knife. What year was it from? 2015. And it's got a little Santa sleigh background sort of etching. And I think is it numbered? Well, I guess they only made 600, but it doesn't tell you the number. It says 1 of 600. That would be awesome if that meant this was number 1, but it's spelled O-N-E of 600. So I think that they made a limited amount, but didn't stamp actual numbers on any of them. And it's not full tang. You can see right here the way that the spine of the knife and then this metal thing in the handle are misaligned. So it's like a fake full tang. They wanted you to think it was. Either that or the entire blade is twisted away from its handle, but it's off on both sides. I don't know. this is all riveted together, so I couldn't take it apart and tell you. But yeah, it's got a nice little piece of corrosion on the hilt there. It's not sharp at all. This is just for display purposes. Although you put it in the sheath and you don't know what it is. The only thing that sort of gives it away is the candy cane striped handle. Isn't that great? I had like 3 of these. So I decided I'll keep one. Okay, going back to the pile, going off camera for a moment. So there's that knife. Oh, that's not too big. I guess I'll put that over there and grab these. Grab that one too. I have a lot of knives. Sorry for the dead air time. Oh, okay. So we'll begin this next one with the Red Guardian, my friend Kenny's Fishbulb's favorite. This one isn't as huge as the other ones, but still kind of too big for me to want to try to fit in with the other knives, which I keep in just plastic Sterilite drawers. So the Red Guardian's going to go in as well. I'm not going to say anything about it because it's been covered multiple occasions. You'll just have to go and find those videos. I think it's garbage. Kenny does not. And that's about that. Okay. Then we got this one. This is an M48 plastic sheath knife. I think this came in my survival ammo crate. And I think it came in one that might have come down to Florida. Yeah, this was in plastic packaging. It's an M48 tactical commando knife thing. And the blade is kind of like bulged towards the middle. I mean, I'm pretty sure I reviewed the hell out of this when I first opened it. So it's big enough to go into the rolly box. Okay. I'm missing one, but I'll find it later. Then there's these two, which I actually have a couple of them. They're these really lightweight knives that came in a box that was like, they were like a green box labeled Survivor, and they have these weird slots cut out in the blade, and maybe you can see it's like a knife sticking down through the middle of the word Survivor, kind of like the beginning of Friday the 13th on the Nintendo Entertainment System, when the knife comes down and hits the Jason mask. Can't talk. It's not comfortable. I've reviewed this before already, but I just some knives you put it in your hand and your fingers go in all the correct places, and that's when you know it's a good knife for you, in my opinion. But for me, it's just not very comfortable. And then I got kind of another one, but it was longer. Same knife, same look, just longer. And a longer sheath as well. And I think I have a couple of these. And I've seen other people unbox multiples of these. I think they must have thought that people are going to love these. Let's stock up on them. And then they ended up going into all the mystery crates. And they got this metal pommel, whatever. Now, this thing, it's a machete that did not come from Bud K. It says ox head on it. Hard to see. There's rust on it. This is actually pretty old. I've had this, I want to say, since the late 90s. And the story is that it was purchased for, like, literally hacking apart the wilderness. There was like some trees in the backyard that my mom had, and it was just like, yeah, let's get a machete and cut some of that shit down because it's overgrown. And then I just kind of kept it. So, well, that was what that is. Pretty sure I got it from Walmart. Then there's this knife. I actually bought this one on purpose. This did not come out of a mystery crate. It's this big, like, Spartan-looking black-washed blade that I thought looked really badass, and it was on sale, and I just fucking wanted it. But turns out it's actually not that comfortable. The handle material has some sharp edges on it, and then the knurling is a little bit too rough. It just doesn't feel good in the hand. Not that I would like carry this around or anything. I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll throw it in the Jeep, but I don't know. I just didn't. Why would I need something like this on the road when I could just use my Jeep as a weapon if I wanted to? I don't know. So, in the box it goes. Now this one, I have a couple of these. This is a knife where it's really bad. It's like the steel is this sort of matte finish, and you got the pointy spikes on that one end and serrations on the other. The handle is totally plastic wrapped in shoelace. The sheath comes with a little pocket that has a fire starting thing. I'm not gonna do it, sorry. And the sheath itself is my favorite part of it. Actually, it's all nylon, and it's actually not bad nylon. This is like, it's hard to describe. It just feels a little sturdier. You got rivets down there that you can tie shit to or tie it down onto. The fire starter doubles as a whistle. So it's actually, I don't know. Even though the knife is kind of crappy, if I'm gonna go out camping or something and I want to use a knife to bushcraft or whatever, I wouldn't want to bring with me a really nice knife. It just needs to be sharp enough. That's probably one I might consider using for that. I don't know. It's something I don't need to necessarily worry about getting banged up or whatever. Okay, what else? It's got a few more. So that one I actually have two of. I never made a video of it. Well, we might have. I don't remember. But there was like a mystery Bowie knife set that was opened at one point, and it was like you get 4 knives in it. 2 of them were the same fucking thing. Garbage. Anyway, this is another one that I bought on purpose and I've reviewed before. It's the Bud K. It's like a $4 wakizashi or something like that, and I actually kind of like it. It's got the Bud K labeling on it, made in the People's Republic of China. It's very cheap, and feels that way, but I actually kind of like it. It's just for the money, for like $4 or whatever, I like it. I don't know why. The sheath is made out of like thinner than shoe leather, and it does the job. It came with it for $4. I don't think I could have designed a better knife than this. Then I got one of these long ass, what do they call these? I don't know what this is. It's a knife that swoops really high up, so I guess it's a karambit, but it's like a long one. No, it doesn't curve the right way. It's made by Honshu, which is also a People's Republic of China derived originating knife. United Cutlery, okay. I don't know what to say about this knife. The handle's not too uncomfortable, but this pinky ring thing never really sat well with me. And the problem is if I try to grip it without doing that, then my index finger ends up on the troil poking into the base of the blade. So it's like I can't ever really comfortably hold this thing. The sheath is actually a little bit better quality leather than what we've seen. It's thick and feels like it's oiled. I don't know. And I don't remember how I got it. It must have been in a mystery box or something. So I got another one. It's a little different. Okay. Bear with me. This thing's all tangled up in a mess. Ah, there we go. So this one actually comes with it's like a shoulder holster that you clip I'm trying to remember. Like the long one, you clip. Oh no, there's a hole in it. That's right. You put the hole goes like around your arm, and then the part that clips is stretchy, and you're supposed to clip it to, I guess, your waistband. I'm not gonna bother putting it on. It takes too much time to figure out. Yeah, it's also a Honshu made. This one I can say is a karambit, golden bladed knife. BudK makes a lot of these in a lot of different colors. It's got plastic, riveted plastic for the sheath, and the handle is pretty much identical to the other one. And so I just kind of had this all wrapped up together. This knife's not that huge, but since it sort of goes with the other one, it's going in. And now I have tons of space to expand. And in here as well, this is only like a quarter of the way full. So I'm going to keep on rearranging and organizing my collection into the new shelving. I pretty much doubled my shelving because I kind of have to. I've taken on that many knives over the past few months, over the past year or so, actually. So anyway, that was a tour of my really big knives. This is JJ Jinx with Truck Stop Knives.